foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rcha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right. Just wanted to go into this video, this lesson. I read this article. All right, earlier this morning, I did a quick video on that, dealing with Iran. Okay, and they're unveiling their new missile city. Okay, which is according to prophecy. All right, which I have here in Joel, the third chapter. Okay, because we also have to remember and keep in mind that World War III is a part, all right, of these prophecies. Now mainly, we go into the mark, the mark of the beast. We go into the martial law, the chaos that's coming. But at the end of it all, World War III, all right, is going to be that end all be all. And you have people out there that don't believe, that World War III is going to happen. But the reason is because they're not paying attention, all right, to the news. They're not paying attention to geopolitical news. They're not paying attention to the tensions that are going on, in the world. A lot of them believe that this place is going to, carry on forever. A lot of them believe, well, if anything happened, the U.S. has a strong military. They're always putting money into their military. Well, you think the U.S. is the only one that has money, or the U.S. is the only one that has a military? Hell no. All right. And the third world war, the nuclear destruction is coming, and it's coming fast. All right, it's coming fast, and it's Armageddon. Something that you can't escape. There's only going to be one way, especially for those. If you living on the soils of America, you should listen very, very closely. All right, because there's only going to be one way to escape that thermonuclear destruction. Now, according to prophecy, all right, Iran, okay, which is also a key player in prophecy, especially concerning, all right, the Third World War. They're coming out, and last year, since 2015, or even before, there's been those tensions, all right, with Iran, the U.S. trying to get up in there and so on and so forth. But it was in 2015 that Trump, if I'm not mistaken, no, I'm bugging, not 2015. He pulled out of the 2015 the nuclear deal thing that they had, and they've been sanctioning Iran. They've been demonizing them. They took out their general. They took out their nuclear scientists. But for some reason, the Lord hasn't put the spirit on them to retaliate just yet. Okay, but He's putting that spirit in them the same way He's putting the spirit into Russia. All right, to get into that warlike spirit. To stop. Look, it's gonna get to the point, all right, which we're seeing it get there, where they're not looking for peace anymore. They're not looking to negotiate. They don't want to talk. They don't want any of that. All right. They want the smoke. All right, so to speak. Okay. Now, real quick, before I get into the scripture I have on here, I just thought of one right now. All right, because they're gonna get to, the Lord is gonna put that spirit on them where they're gonna come in an aggressive manner. All right, prepared for war, not just by themselves. Okay, and this Third World War is gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be unlike anything you've ever seen before. All right, imagine a war that destroys a whole country the size of America. All right, from New York to California, burning. When you see the California fires, the fires on the West Coast, they show it on the TV, and you see the whole sky's orange. It looks like a post-apocalyptic scene. Fires, and then they're driving through, and the smoke and the fires just burning. Imagine that, but on the scale of the whole land, all right, the whole land of North America, all right, to where it's not just you see branches here, you see trees here. No. It tells you in the book of Malachi 4:1, it's gonna leave neither root nor branch. It's gonna be like America's drowning in fire. Imagine what that's gonna look like. A war that's gonna lead to that. When the missiles hit, you think a missile's gonna hit and you're not gonna hear anything? No. You're gonna hear and feel. The scriptures say the earth is gonna reel to and fro like a drunkard. Because that's how forceful those missiles are, with the spirit of the Lord in them. So when they hit, the impact they're gonna have is gonna shake the earth. It's gonna feel like earthquakes. You know, it's gonna cause earthquakes. It's gonna be disastrous. That's why the scriptures say that the elect are gonna have to go up into those chariots till the indignation of the Lord be past. All right. So now let's read this here. Dealing with Iran. All right. This is the book of, because now we're closest to prophecy than we've ever been. See, a couple years back, you would look at things that were happening, in the Middle East. All right. And then you would say, well, it looks like things are going to pop off. But understand that according to the order of prophecy, World War III will not come before the chip, all right, or no, the mark is instituted. The mark has to be instituted before, all right, that war comes. And we're seeing the fast progression towards that mark. So now when we hear about talks about, the war and so on and so forth, it's not going to be something that's just going to blow over. The Lord is not going to prolong it anymore. All right, he's setting it up this time for the final go. All right, so this is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, starting at verse 28. It says, behold, in horrible vision. All right, and 2nd Ezra 15, really, when you, after verse 19, when you hit verse 20 on down, all right, it starts to go into World War III. All right, it starts to go into the war that's gonna come about. It's just spoken in a almost like a metaphorical way. He's using different examples to describe the destruction. All right, but the winds and the blood and this and the sword, that's going into the destruction from the nuclear missiles. All right, so 2nd Ezra chapter 15, I'm going to start at verse 28. It says, behold, an horrible vision. All right, so when we tell you that this World War III is coming or martial law is coming, we're not predicting. We're not just making predictions. These are things that have been seen. All right, it's been seen in reality, all right, by the prophets of old, and they wrote it down. So we're not, looking at what's happening now and assuming, all right, or drawing inferences, oh, maybe because the way it's looking. No. We know it's written not in stone, but it's written in paper. All right, matter of fact, hold up. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and what? Cause them to be written in paper, for they are what? They are faithful and true. Because what? They've been seen. What these visions, the prophecies that we read, is not just a book that we just believe it might happen. No, these are what the prophets saw. The Lord showed the prophets the future. Imagine it as if the Lord showed you the future and you wrote it down. Okay, and then people who are living in that time period where you saw the destruction coming are reading what you wrote, okay, and they're like, oh shoot, that's talking about now. That's the same thing we're doing now with the different prophets of old. So that's why it says in horrible vision, meaning what the prophet saw, what Ezra saw, was not a sweet thing. Thermonuclear destruction is not a fun thing to go through. All right, I wouldn't know. I haven't been through it, but I don't want to go through it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get, I mean, you really got to put things in perspective, man. For anybody who's ever been burnt on whatever degree, it's not fun. It doesn't feel nice. Whether it's a small or, your whole or part of your body or whatever, it doesn't feel good. Even when you're cooking and, hot oil or fire or something hot touches you, it hurts. It might actually, leave like a blister looking thing, if it's on your finger for a while, maybe a day or two. And it hurts, even if you put water on it. So now imagine your whole body going through heat that's hotter than whatever you felt. Whatever you felt is nothing, all right? You going through this immense heat that's so hot, but you thinking that just because, it's so hot, it'll completely eviscerate me. I'll just be destroyed in an instant. I won't feel anything. Don't get deceived by that, man. Do not be deceived, all right? Have you never seen somebody who's in so much pain they wish they were dead, but they're not dying for some reason? All right, the Lord is the one who decides when to take your spirit out, and the Lord is going to leave your spirit in your body. But the Lord, like the way our minds work is when, the saying time flies when you're having fun. That's because your brain is so focused on, whatever activity is engaged in it, that you're not keeping as a diligent track of time. So it seems like time is flying so fast. Now, when you are going through something that doesn't feel nice, time feels like it's moving super slow. All right, because you want time to move faster so you can be done with it. Like a workout, for example. You're doing a workout, plank, or sit-ups or whatever, and you gotta hold. Wall sits, you gotta hold. It feels like 30 seconds feels like longer than it's ever felt before, because you're going through something uncomfortable, so it feels like time is moving slow. Or you're sitting in a boring class and you're like, damn, it has only been 5 minutes, but it feels like forever. Yeah. So now imagine you're burning, you're melting, right? And the Lord amplifies that feeling. He slows down your perception of time so much, but you're still feeling every bit of the pain. So what to us would look like a split second, while you're feeling it, feel like it could feel like months, it could feel like hours, you know? In that little split second, Lord can make you perceive it as hours, man. And you're burning it. You're feeling every second, every particle, every tissue in your body burning, man. Your eyes melting. That's not fun. So you people walk around and enjoy your life like you have it now. You don't even know that this is coming, man. You think everything is gonna be all sweet, man. When those missiles come, when you look up in the sky, that day is gonna come. You're gonna look up in the sky, you're gonna see on TV, they're gonna announce that there's been missiles launched. You're gonna look up and see missiles coming, and you are going to lose your mind, man. You're not gonna know what to do. You're not gonna know what to do. You're not gonna know where to go. You're not gonna know what's happening. You're gonna see chariots in the sky, and you're gonna see people getting beamed up. And yeah, it sounds crazy now, but you're gonna wish you believed that craziness then. Okay, so let's go back to the scripture. 2nd Ezra 15 and 29 or 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. All right, and who's in the east? Iran is in the east. Russia's in the east. All right, all these African countries that were listed in Ezekiel 38th chapter are in the east. All right. The place of Armageddon is in the east. Okay, so it says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, all right, the Ishmaelites, shall come out with many chariots. All right, now, Arabia or Arab, all right, means mixture. So usually you think of Arabs and you think of just Ishmaelites, but it's not just Ishmaelites. It's a really a mixture, all right, or a conglomerate of those Eastern nations that are living in that area. So it says here, the nations, all right, of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So now notice it is using terms like chariots, and it's not saying I don't even know what they call them things, silos and missiles, and because that terminology didn't exist back then. All right, it says man, these tickets, man. Lady handing out tickets like it's ice cream. Yep, she having a field day. She comes up to a car that's empty. She got a big ass smile on her face. Like, oh yeah, I got you now. Man, that's wicked, man. But hey, whatever. It says verse 30. It says here also the Carmanians. Now the Carmanians, all right, when you look it up, the Carmanians are actually Persians, okay, or Elamites. Oh, he's a lucky man. She would have got your ass, bro. They're Elamites, okay, Iran, all right. So as it says here in prophecy, all right, 2nd Ezra, and we're not making it up. You can look it up who the Carmanians are, okay. They go back to they are the Elamites or the Persians, and that's today known as Iran. And according to the prophecy here, it says also the Carmanians, what? Raging in wrath. So you killed their general. We're not going to forgive this. But then they don't really do anything as significant, right? Oh, yeah, whatever. Take out their nuclear scientists. Yo, this is outrageous. Yeah, whatever. Put sanctions on them. Yeah, this is whatever. Until the Lord puts the spirit on them, to where they get into that wrath. Okay? So it says here, and also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come. So they have their missile city, all right? Their uranium enrichment program, they're not stopping that. You know, they're allied with, you know, certain world superpowers like Russia. You know, China's gonna be on their side. Okay, so they're gonna come. Um, it says here, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. What does it mean if a nation comes to join battle with another nation? Is that not war? Okay, but it says they're gonna join battle with the nations of the dragons of Arabia, because ultimately this third world war, yeah, it's gonna kick off, but who's gonna really have the most casualties? America, because according to Revelation the 17th chapter, when this thing pops off, when it goes nuclear, even America's allies, the so-called NATO and European Union and all of them that are supposed to be with the US, are gonna look around and be like, yo, listen, launch the missiles on her ass, man. That's prophecy. Plot twist. You know? So it says, I'm gonna read it again, verse 30. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power they shall come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. All right, now the modern day Assyrians, all right, this is prophetically speaking. Okay, the modern day Assyrians is referring on to America. Okay, America goes by a lot of names because it's likened onto those ancient nations, you know, like Assyria, you know, or Egypt or Sodom. Okay, it has certain traits or attributes of those different nations. So sometimes the scriptures and prophecy will refer, you know, hence you have Babylon, right? It'll refer to this place by those different names. All right, because by the time that Ezra got this vision, that the Assyrian Empire had already gone down. It was already taken down. Okay, so you know this is talking about prophecy. So it says they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. That's America. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. All right, and not them alone, but also the Russians as well. The bear. You know, the Lord said he's going to put hooks into the jaws of Russia's mouth and turn them. They're going to remember their nature as well. Going back to that USSR spirit, the Soviet Union spirit. All right. It says, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Okay. I read maybe a verse or two more. It says, then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. And that's exactly what's going to be taking place here, man. The Lord is gonna, man, what the Lord is going to do to this place. Read the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter. Babylon is fallen. It's gonna fall on such a scale that the world has never seen before. All right, so much so that it's gonna be spoken about continuously. Okay, now let's go real quick to the book of Revelation, the 9th chapter. All right, because when you read in Revelation, the 9th chapter, it starts off talking about World War I. All right, the Apostle John on the island of Patmos, the Lord showed him. All right, the Lord showed him these different wars, these three major world wars. So in Revelation, the 9th chapter, it starts off talking about World War I. Okay, on down until I believe about the 12th verse. Okay, and so if that's talking about World War I, and let's read what the 12th verse says. Revelation chapter 9, verse 12. One woe, meaning one war, is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So John just described World War I, and then says one war is past, and there come two more wars hereafter. So if the first war is a world war, that means the second two wars are going to have to be on that scale. All right, in order to be compared or likened onto that first war. All right, two more of these kinds of wars are going to come hereafter. But people see this and say, oh, well, that's talking about just wars. Wars happen in general. Well, time out. How many wars happen in general? A lot. So why is he describing just 3? What's so significant about these wars, all right, that he's describing just 3 of them? They have to be within the same caliber. The reason being is that they are world wars, all right? And this third one, which is going to happen, see, at the time, John had seen the first World War. And he would show that there were going to be 2 more that were going to come after that. That's why he wrote that. And what? The second war, there's a, what is it? I believe in Revelation 11. All right, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can find it. Yep, Revelation 11, verse 14. It says, the second woe is past. All right. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So first he said there was the first war that passed. 2 more is going to come after. Then he says the second war is past. 1 more is coming. So what is that? That's World War III that's coming. Okay. And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing over there in the Middle East. Okay, because the Lord has anything that takes place on the planet Earth is set by the Lord's angels, all right, to cause it to happen. And the Lord has set up angels over there in the Euphrates in the east, all right, to work on the minds of those kings over there, all right, so that they can go and to see when the Lord says he's gonna put hooks into the jaws of Russia, or he's gonna have the Carmanians remembering their nature and coming forth in wrath. That's angels that are gonna work on the minds. All right, they're gonna work on the minds of these kings, putting different thoughts. It says in Ezekiel 39 that an evil thought, Russia is gonna think an evil thought. What evil thought is that? War. All right, but why are they gonna think that? Because the angels are gonna be putting those thoughts in their minds. All right, when you read Daniel, the 10th chapter, it goes into that. All right, describing how the Lord uses the angels to work on the minds of men to get them to do whatever he wants them to do to fulfill prophecy. All right. So Revelation chapter 9, verse 13, and the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the 6th angel, which had the trumpet, let loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Okay, so after the first World War was passed, the commandment was given to loose the 4 angels that were bound over there. Okay, and it says here, and the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year. For what? For to slay the 3rd part of men. Okay, and the 3rd part of men being Esau. All right, how is he going to be slain ultimately through this 3rd World War? So those angels were loosed after that first war to start working, you know, to get to work, to start working on the minds of these kings, to start setting things over there in motion. All right, that will ultimately lead to not only World War II, but ultimately and finally World War III. All right, this is a big prophecy in the scriptures that the Lord, all right, has set up. And it's going to come to pass accordingly, man. You just want to make sure you're not one of those who's going to suffer that judgment. All right, see, we might say, oh, this guy's going to eat a missile. If you going to eat a missile, that's not fun, man. All right, it's not fun because what are you going to do? You can't outrun a missile. You know how fast the blast wave, depending on the radius, do you know how fast it is, man? That heat travels. All right. If you want to see an example, watch, what was it, Terminator? I forgot which one it was. Where the lady is it's like they're at a playground and everything. And then the blast hits, and then she sees the fire. I believe it was a dream she had. She sees the fire coming and then she's holding on to the fence and that joint comes super fast, and it just melts her, man. Melts her. No chill. No mercy, none of that. All right. So now this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, and I'll start at verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. So what are they doing? Khan, the water, Terminator 2. All right. What are they doing? They're preparing for war. All right. Now, that's why they're telling you that, hey, conflicts are getting crazy. So we're going to continue to up our nuclear defense system. Turkey's out here like, yo, we're trying to get some of them defense systems from Russia. US is out here like, nah, you can't do that. Turkey's like, yo, bro, nah, we ain't even trying to hear that, man. All right, these Russia is making deals with these African nations. That's according to prophecy, Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Okay, because they're gonna form a coalition. They're gonna work together. Because even in past times in history, there have been nations that have worked together for the benefit of their cause. like the ancient Babylonians, or I should say, ancient Babylon, all right, and the Medes, all right. They were countries that came together to form a coalition against the Assyrians, all right. So Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Okay, now what is a plowshare and a pruning hook? These are things you really use for agriculture, and agriculture is a time of peace, right? You're gardening or farming or whatever it is. That's a time of peace. All right, these are tools. Agriculture is a tool that you use. You're trying to get some food, whatever the case may be. That's a peaceful kind of time. All right, but the Lord is saying here, turn those instruments that you will use in a time of peace into war instruments. And what does that mean? That means that we're shifting from that vibration of peace or calm, and we're coming into that vibration of war. Because what is a sword used for? War. You don't use a sword to farm, all right? A sword is used for war, okay? It says a spear. A spear is also used for war. Now, this is not literally saying, hey, Russia, take every pruning hook and every plowshare that you have, because I don't even think they use those anymore. They have more advanced ways of doing it, and turn it into a spear and into a sword. No, all right. But what do you see what these nations doing now? Instead of investing, all right, in, let's say like, more farmland or more, this kind of thing. No, they're investing in their what? Military. A lot of the majority of their money, all right, that these countries are investing is going into their military. Why is that? Because they're getting ready for war, all right? Whether they want to come out explicitly and say it or not. Biden just called Putin a killer. What you think is going through them Russians' minds? Oh yeah, this guy's definitely peaceful. If he thinks of you as a killer, and he's warning you, he said, if we find out you meddled in the election, prepare. This guy's coming out already talking hot. All right. So it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Now, what does it mean by let the weak say, I am strong? Well, now you can have a small country, all right, which might not have as much or as great of a military arsenal as a big country. But even somebody like North Korea could say, well, I got nuclear missiles, so I'm strong now because I could do damage to you. All right, you may underestimate me because of my size or whatever. I'm not as big on the scale of the world scale as you, but I could do just as much damage with those nuclear missiles. All right. So it says, verse 11, assemble yourselves and come ye, and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Okay, so what's happening? That's why the Lord is having, and the Lord is ultimately going to set up like a vortex, all right, in the east that's going to drag all these nations in there into that war. Okay, that's ultimately what the Lord is going to do. He's going to set up a vortex via those angels over there, causing certain events to happen. All right, causing certain nations' interests to be at risk because of other nations. Causing tensions between Israel and Iran, US and Iran, China and this person. Okay, and then eventually what is that going to do? It's going to start pulling all of them there. All right, and once that match gets ignited, that's it. Okay, it's gonna go, and it's gonna escalate and escalate and escalate, and somebody's gonna shoot a missile somewhere, and then somebody's ally is gonna be like, hell no, and then it's gonna go full scale from there, man. All right. It says here, verse 12, let the heathen be waked and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, all right, Yahweh Shaphat, which means the Lord's judgment, all right, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. All right, so that's a great judgment that's coming to this place, man. And in the midst of all this, guess what? Our deliverer is going to be. So when World War III is going on, yeah, we're worried about, surviving, but we're more worried about our deliverer showing up. We're like, all right, now's the time when your house shot is going to pull up. So we going to, it's going to come. People going to be out here like, oh my gosh, what do? We're going to be out here waiting for your house shot, calling on him to deliver us. And it's gonna be like a movie scene. You're gonna hear, you got people stepping out their houses. Oh my gosh, do you hear what's going on? Sally, where are you? And then you got certain men, hey, call Yahweh Bashim Shai, just chanting the name of the Lord. All right. And they're gonna be like, what the hell was going on? What are they doing? Next thing you know, you see them chariot lights, people getting beamed up all across the world. Beamed up. And so there's gonna be a lot of news going on. What's going on? You have, this country just struck the U.S. with missiles, and all of a sudden the sky is full of these unidentified flying objects, and they're abducting people. People are going up into them. And they actually use that concept in a lot of different anime, cartoons, movies. Where it's like I was watching a recent anime, all right, Black Clover, and there's a certain part in there where it's like the regular, average individuals, some of them got changed. Their mind, they say they got possessed by elves or all that BS, but the concept is they got changed, all right, and they were looking at the rest of, their human friends and whatnot as like, almost like 2/3, like they're going off kind of situation. So they put that in a lot of situations where a lot of instances where you'll see, yeah, in society there's always going to be those people that are different, that get affected. Some outer worldly events comes and it affects these people or these individuals, to an extent where they're like, oh, they're different. Guess what? That's the elect. The elect are different. All right, when the Lord comes down, man, whoo, oh my gosh, man, I mean, we're gonna be so excited to see the Lord come back that those missiles coming down is not gonna even you just gonna forget about that, and your hope, the only thing that's gonna be on your mind at that very moment is, please Lord, let me just beam me up, like, please Lord, let me be one of those individuals that you beam up into those chariots, because it's either you win big or you lose big, in that day. But it's funny because you got people walking around society today and they have literally no clue and no care. They don't care. They're living their life like, yeah, well, I'm worried about, I don't know, passing this test, or I'm worried about, doing this, that, and the third. None of them are even thinking ahead, like, yo, in the case that this does happen, what am I gonna do? What will ye do in that day? See, we're preparing ahead. We're doing our best now to seek mercy from the Lord. So when the time comes, he may have mercy on us, man. But if you don't do that now, what you think the time is gonna come and instantly you're gonna call the Lord and, oh, look, I was waiting on you. You could come up. No. All right. So that was it here in the book of Joel. There's many other scriptures that I could go to. Matter of fact, I'll let you get one more. All right. There's many other scriptures that are, that prophesy and talk about, this third world war. Okay, that's gonna come to pass. All right, so if people sit there and tell you, no, there's not going to be any war, there's not going to be any destruction, that's a lie, man. All right, just even people who don't, subscribe to the Bible will tell you, like, hey, the tensions that are going on here in the Middle East, man, something is about to go down. These nations are about to, go at it. All right, so this is the book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, because that's how the wars used to be in the ancient world. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Okay, so what kind of war is with burning and fuel of fire? All right, do people go to war with flamethrowers, or they got gasoline and they just, I mean, there's certain, instances they'll put like hot oil and stuff. But what he's talking about here is that fuel of fire that comes, all right, with that thermonuclear destruction. Okay, that's ultimately what Isaiah was talking about, that he saw, that he was prophesying. All right, so World War III is biblical, okay, and it's definitely going to take place, man. All right, so get that in your mind and be prepared. Yes, the chip is coming, persecution, everything is coming. But at the end of all of that comes World War III, man, okay, and be prepared for that. So, Salaki, I couldn't get to some of the precepts on the comment boards. I'm going to have to cut it short so I could get out of here and go get this. Let me get this spot right here. All right. But Lord willing, you viewers that tuned in were edified. All right. I want to say Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barak Atam to you all. And, stay in the spirit, stay prepared, man, because, the time is very, very short. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Until next time, Shalom.